has shown us the biggest shift in travel experiences, and traveling has started again.
Yes, it is.
So what are the measures you have taken to offer safe travel experiences for the global tourists?
Firstly, there's been a massive shift in travel. One of the things that we have made sure we do as South Africa and together with the South African industry is focus a lot on digitization of our processes. Everything is digital. Your check-ins have been digital. But we've now moved to a way it is no longer a pandemic, it's an endemic. We've tried to normalize travel as much as possible. What is really evident and what's come out is that the Indian traveler is looking for, one, they want sustainable tourism. Two, they're looking for wider spaces. Three, really, really well lit, very well air-conditioned and ventilated places. So our systems and our approaches and our offerings have been incredible. But we also had to learn to move away from operating from fear, because I think a lot of the time we instilled a lot of fear into the traveler. So we tried to normalize it as much as possible. So South Africa, you don't need to wear a mask, you don't need to even show your vaccine or your certificate to come into South Africa, because we don't want to instill a sense of fear, and therefore we've made it. There's lots of subtle changes, they're not overt with this fear. So for us, what's important is we've let the traveler own safety in terms of traveling, but we've also created a platform where it is easy for you to check in, it is easy for you to go through our airports, it's easy for you to, your rooms are always sanitized, you've got sanitizers at all particular entrances at any given time. Drivers who collect you up in Ubers have got a sanitizer. So we've made sure that we've worked with our partners to make it as easy as possible, but without projecting fear on it, because we operated in a very highly charged environment where people were scared. But we sorted the world, India has come to claim its own safety, and we just support that together with our tourism industry in South Africa.
Responsible tourism is a vital feature of the South African tourism experience, and is firm supporter of sustainable and green tourism.
Absolutely.
How are you promoting the sustainable tourism for enhanced travel experience?
So what is key, a lot of the food that you get to eat in our hotels is grown within the hotels. We use communities, particularly previously disadvantaged communities. We buy our vegetables from directly from the farm, and they put on to the South Africa. We've moved away from plastic in the most instances, and we're using a lot of glass in terms of from the food that we offer. So from our side, it is really important to collaborate and to go as green as possible where we can. So for me, and for the country, sustainable tourism is a lifestyle and it's a way of living. From what we eat, from how do we recycle garbage, how do we separate plastic from glasses to metal, all of that is very important, and we do it again with communities, our citizens, our stakeholders and our partners. But it's very also important to also know one of the things that we've done quite well is make sure that we add value to rural tourism and the communities of beneficiaries.
Now it's mice. Mice industry has seen a huge success in South Africa with 35% increase in incentive travel. What is your strategic outlook to boost mice tourism and to ensure more large-scale events?
So one of the things that we focus on and we do very strongly collaborate on is with corporates. We engage directly with the Indian corporates. We have what we call think tanks. We sit with them in spaces and we have conversations, and we talk tourism. We talk eventing. We talk incentives. We don't sell to them. We talk to them about the destination. The return on investment, if I'm sitting around a think tank with about 50 corporates in a room, what then happens is that at least 30% of them would make sure that they would book South Africa. It's been quite a success story for us because we've seen an increase in the MICE, particularly incentive space, when it comes to incentives and MICE and the big events. We've seen a huge uptake on cricket, which is a sporting event. We've seen some people coming to do their meetings in South Africa, their board meetings, conferences as we speak. And also I think what's making it a success is the tone we use with the corporates. It is not a sales pitch, it is an engagement, it's a destination engagement, and that's where we are at.
This year South Africa is celebrating 30 years of bilateral relations with India, and India is the sixth biggest source market, as you mentioned. So what are the regions or provinces you want to promote for tourism?
I think we would like to promote the whole of South Africa, but I think what's important now is to give a piece of the cake to India from the less known provinces or the states. I'd like India to consider what lies in the Northern Cape. I'd like Limpopo to get a piece of the pie. I'd like Free State to get a piece of the pie. Northern Cape has got the most beautiful waterfalls on the African continent, right? We've also got the Kgalagadi Game Reserve, which borders at least 3 countries, which allows intercontinental travel at a SADC level. It also allows us to see the most beautiful plants that you can ever see during spring. That's the Northern Cape, which is the Namaqua flowers. Then we go to Limpopo, where you can go and see the rain goddess. You can go and meet the people of Limpopo, and you can see the wildlife, because 80% of the Kruger sits on Limpopo side. Then there's a province called Free State, which is very new. Free State is a province that's 3 hours outside Johannesburg, Gauteng, the province. But it is also a country, it is also a state that is an hour away from Lesotho, which allows you to do 2 states, 2 countries in one. So you can do South Africa and you can do Lesotho. But what's special about it is that it also allows you to have an immersion on skiing. You can literally go and ski on the African continent, which very few people can ever imagine or even fathom. So from my side, those 3 at this point in time. But we've also been punting KwaZulu-Natal, which is the 2nd largest home to the Indian community within the African continent. Why? It's so easy from a culinary perspective to be there. It's also easy from a culture perspective. The food is as close as you're going to get to home. But I think it's the people. It's the home to Mahatma Gandhi and his family that is still living there, that lives there. Ella Gandhi is still there. So there's a very strong cultural link, a very strong people's link, a very strong culinary link. But what is amazing about it is that it's a 375 days destination, highly affordable. It's actually a country. You can literally stay in KwaZulu-Natal and not move and do a full 17 days, and it's a destination that offers you value for money.
Thank you, and
thank you for having us. Much appreciated. Thank you.